Good evening, everybody. On Speed Gaming, we're here to bring you a Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer race, featuring Let's Play Pro and MM2 NES cartridge. Um, so we have some experienced runners here, done a randomizer seed or two, so we should have a good matchup. We'll be getting this along shortly. Just waiting for the last few to ready up, and then we'll be into the countdown and can get going. So I can introduce our game mode here. We have it's a randomizer that takes two separate games and combines them into the same game ROM. Still randomized. So we're going to start in Super Metroid and then very quickly enter A Link to the Past. And then if you watch the separate randomizers, you'll see it'll play out very familiarly to each of those separately. But the routing style is going to change because it's a separate game, essentially. The timer is counting down. Going by this start screen, I don't see any custom sprites, but there's still room for that. And everyone chooses a custom Link to the Past sprite. So we'll get to see what we have coming. It looks like the plain Samus for both runners. So we are in Criteria, where enemies are already started, the planet's awake. And traditional routing, as you go through this portal door, straight to Link to the Past. You have the option of going to check the morph pedestal and the ceiling item. But that's usually not worth the time. Supers in Link's house. Early supers are very nice to see. Like, supers don't really ever go bad until you have too many. So, supers are just always good. We saw a sign kill on the guard. In this randomizer, the tree pull pack is already set to tier 3 as soon as you come out of the portal. And it's suspected that's because of the Octorok rocks. So you don't need to kill a guard to get a tree pull, but he did get a guard drop. There's a Cane Samaria. And I think that's enough magic for both of them to do escape. Like, 2 magic pods should be 4 canes, I think. And that would be enough to do escape. So they have a weapon, and it's pretty standard to just go straight to Zelda Cell. Picking up some safety hearts. Not likely to die with Cane. Like, the main danger of escape is ball and chain guard, but with a Cane weapon, you're probably going to throw pots at him. Yeah, Leslie has to be Like, careful with his magic, but fine. Just push his block into the enemies. They got a key, and that was the in logic chest. So these back two chests are also in logic. It's pretty rare to see a key in that chest. It's most commonly in the back. And there's a glove. That's a really nice find. It's good to see early, and it's interesting with the placement. Because we know that that small key lets them get to the back now through the glove. Yeah, so Leslie's out of magic for Arcane, but there's pots here. It looks like MM2 isn't going to go for Dark Cross. Yeah, 4 Cane explosions is faster than a second pot. But the magic's still useful at this point. But so there's the map in Sync, so that means Dark Cross has an item. And they got bombs. So that means they can do back of escape right now. But might not go to Dark Cross with just the cane as a way through the dark. You got a nice 20 rubies off of that bomb throw that we all thought was not intended. But he got paid out for it. And he is going for Dark Cross. So the first room on the dark rooms is the hardest. And he got the key, so that's the tricky part. You know the key rat's gonna start on the left side. But if it ever gets away from left side, then you can just have a hard time finding it. Now he just needs to watch out that he doesn't die to the snakes. And if he uses a cane like near the chest, then it should push the snake away enough to get the item. No item for MM2. Yeah, it's not easy with just cane. You want like more hearts or a sword. Was that power bombs? The power bombs on Lumberjack. So won't be killing Aghanim for the item. Let's see. I missed the bush crab. But he's not full of money or bombs, so these tree poles and the hoarder crab haven't been giving them too many supplies to work with. Okay, so 2 bombs for Leslie, 1 for MM2. They'll be good for Kekriko checks. MM2 can do the well and get enough money to buy bombs. Or even blindside. Even more money. Having 2 bombs is the better position, because you don't want to walk back and forth across town. So Kakriko is most common opener. You don't need a good weapon to get all these checks, and it has the densest item. So there's just so many chests here to check. And with that sword, then they can both do the other dense regions more easily now. Like especially in this opening segment, having a reusable weapon like sword. Like the alternative is using magic or bombs, so you're saving all those resources. Yeah, and this sword is also just a really nice comfort item for the entire game. So it's nice to get that early. Yeah, I'm into taking the gamble of bombs in the well, but not going to get any. So he's leaving behind that check. Leslie left behind the chicken hut check, but that's right next to the bomb shop. So he'll be okay going back there. Both of them are going to be short on money for the bottle vendor. So that'll be another check that they'll have to come back to and not forget. Actually, one of the more easily forgotten checks, because you try to do it early on every time. And even more supers. They're still really good. They keep finding them and they remain good. Like, see some power bombs. It looks like Leslie's gonna farm up for bottle vendor. I think 2 well dips might have been faster. But either way. He's gonna need 6 more. Then MM2 getting to his item in the back. He's in a closer position to drop down the well again, and then have his bottle vendor money. So he's making this extra trip back up to the well work. And this extra 25 that Leslie has isn't that likely to matter. But that'll entirely depend on what we find in the remaining areas of the opener, the late world. Lastly, we have the library and race game checks. And this does take another walk across town, so it's a viable strategy to skip these for later. But then you gotta worry about race game for... Yeah, it could have something if you skip it. We're getting blind checks from both runners. I like this in combo rando because it could have... There's more convenience items that could be here. And there's a gravity suit. I guess in this case, it's also likely to begin a progression item because town only had the sword. So they have a speed booster. You're gonna do the more convenient checks first. So Pendant Eastern and Red Crystal Desert. So if there's nothing here in South Shore, they're probably gonna dip Eastern. But by that point, they kind of have to find something. Or it could be Speed Booster. You want to do the convenient checks first and then Speed Booster. Because the speed checks are a big time commitment. And like a straight gamble. Because that's time that the other person might not spend, and you're gonna have to revisit those exact areas. So there's a bow. A bow is hard to judge as a progression item. Because it's only the one check in Eastern that might not even be a item. And then Pod has a bunch more requirements at this stage. Yeah, 3 hearts. Both of them taking some hits. Yeah, Leslie gonna pick up that safety heart. Oh, there's a hook shot. Yeah, let's see what else we get. Power bombs are good. And reserve. You do want to keep a bit of a count on your health, your Super Metroid health. Because if you have more buffer health, then you can play faster. This is normal logic, so we're not watching health for hell runs, but just for like comfort. Some prize blue rubies. The big find was the hook shot. We have a glove and hook shot, so that's East F Mountain if you do the dark room. And more supers. This looks like Eastern play from MM2. He's keeping in logic with us. Also possible he's just going for Saha checks because they're efficient 3 checks. Yeah, thing about like following hookshot is you want to think about what you're going to do after you're up on the mountain. So you want to predict what you're going to find there. Like if it's a Moon Pearl, then that's good, but you'd have to come down here anyway to Eastern. If you get a flute down here in Eastern, the options are lamp, flute, and morph ball. And this is between speed checks, morph, and Bryn Sealing, Agina, and Eastern Palace. Yeah, they're going into Eastern, following that bow. The bow itself doesn't do anything logically because they don't have lamp. And then should have mentioned that this is an older version of logic that doesn't let Fire Rod count as Armos access. It has to be lamp for dark rooms. Yeah, it seems like speed could be leading to their intended mountain progression. But then you need to decide if you want to think that it's going to give you Morph Ball or Lamp or Flute. Got a Boomerang. Boomerang's a great item. Hookshot's the best item. Boomerang would be good, but they have Hookshot already. arrow capacity. I find that the first capacity upgrade is really useful. Especially bombs. You can run out of bombs if your max is 10. Arrow capacity, it depends what order you do things in. You can't go from a heavy arrow requirement to another arrow requirement. Thing that you do. And these are both runners that played a lot of SMZ3 seeds, so no trouble with the dark rooms. And power bombs. I think that's the last item. Power bombs, arrow capacity, and boomerang. And Eastern's a pendant. If only he had the little P in the corner of the screen. Yeah, doing this just for the pendant isn't a common play. So Leslie's gonna do the speed checks, it looks like. Still following logic. Yeah, that's the hardest dark room in Eastern. And only 4 hearts. Like anyone can die to that room. Okay, deciding to go left first. This is a 1-tap to get blue. So you take like half step and then press run. He might be trying to spark. You can also just jump across. Yeah, M2 doing some extra taps, it looks like. This is the intended way to get across. He dropped his spark somehow. This is wise in logic, because you can get a lot more running room from the ship. And then you can jump over and spark. But the 1-tap is the easier way. And we're joined by Inline. He's ready.
Hey, Aussie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Are you ready to commentate this race?
I'm excited to be sitting in the booth, but I've missed a little bit, so what's been going on so far?
So we had an average start, I guess. We have the glove hookshot combo for Mountain. And so it looks like the runners are avoiding the sequence break up to Mountain and following the speed booster, which is likely to be a progression item. And there's a flute, so flutes are Mountain. Yep, they're going to want to keep that. Yeah, early speed booster is... It's hard to know when to do it, when to not.
Yeah,
it's a time commitment to do, sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say it tends to be you commit to it and it's nothing. You pass it up and it was everything you needed. So
Yeah, it feels like there's people who are gonna commit to it early and hope to get a lead, and people who will do everything else first to try to not lose the time.
well, early gravity is nice just to not have to worry about that, as you're moving on later in game.
Yeah, they got gravity and speed, so they can do Meridia whenever they can get there. We've been seeing a lot of supers, so we're expecting like easy boss fights. So Super Metroid, when they get Morph Ball, is going to be pretty comfy.
Well, it looks like MM2 is making way back over to Link to the Past.
Yeah, they still have those 2 checks in Blue Bren. The ceiling's put in logic by the speed booster, and those 2 checks are not done yet. I guess this is just Hobo. Yeah, this would have to be just Hobo.
I was
Showing
gonna
off
ask.
the Instilla Delete.
Certainly not worth the time today.
No, just a trash tank. Someone call it. But it was a fine way to check Hobo. It's easy to isolate that, and the portal that he exited from puts you pretty close, and he did his splash delete fast. So that was a good check, even though there's nothing. Leslie burning all of his health. Yeah, it's easy to run through the door on the way back through Terminator and forget about the bomb wall. So you have to turn around and get another spark and come back. Okay, so Gina or Mountain? It's Mountain. So I think they don't want to see a Morph Ball here, because then they're going to feel bad about their Super Metroid trip. But they're also 2 items away from Dark World.
Have we dipped any dungeons yet?
They have cleared out Eastern Palace. So that would be all the Light World checks are done except for Agina's Cave. And Dark Cross. MM2 attempted Dark Cross, but died in front of the chest.
It happens.
Yeah, it was low hearts and just a red cane with little magic.
Well, Leslie making the same decisions, activating that flute for mountain access, and at least gets the spawn point. I mean, that's nice.
Yeah. You use that spawn point a lot. It's nice to have.
Well, there's a bottle, and that's the first one, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep,
put
first
sick kid in
bottle.
logic.
Yep, putting it off for now because there has to be more bottles out there, surely. Come back for that if he runs out of checks. So this is going to be 2 and 5 chests, and then 1 more in spiral.
Oh, and Leslie's going over to SM from here. Gonna check high jump. Oh, it
He's
doesn't have
locked
Morphball.
in.
Can't check it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only the one item you can check here. But he did miss the Nova kill, so he's going to have to wait for him to come around if he wants to keep that money.
Ooh. Paradox Cave showing up a little bit here. Got that hammer.
Hammer and powder. They have a cane. I think their magic's too low for bat, but they do have a cane. MM2 is going to buy bombs. Don't often see this. Yeah, the high jump B tank check by Leslie's pretty normal. It's fast enough to dip in, dip out. But if you can skip it, then it's a time save. Because you're going to have to go back there later.
So,
So
Leslie
Hammer...
Go ahead.
Hammer opens up Hera. So we should see that here as well.
It also puts us just a moon pearl away from Dark World access.
Yep. So we're expecting to see Moon Pearl for Dark World, like instead of like a Moon Pearl, Morph Ball.
Yeah, Leslie did decide to go ahead and pick up that bottle. I'm sure MM2 will get it on the way out, if nothing else. But interesting to see how this could impact something early on.
It takes a fall while going for the bomb jump back across.
There's your Dark World access.
Getting bullied by the Moldorms. We'll see how MM2 plays this. And it looks like Hera. Okay. So not going to Dark World right away. So those rocks that Leslie was just passing through have a 50-50 chance for bombs. Just mentioning that because his bomb count is as low as MM2's was when he came through here.
Might see the rare double bomb purchase.
So this will be Crystal Hera, and they've hook shot for Hera Pot if it is a fire-locked dungeon. But there's our big key. It's still on low heart count. Should probably walk into fire. Get a health refill. You don't need to put yourself through doing the rest of the dungeon on 1 hurt. And we're going to see a Hera Pot from MM2. Very precise trick. And he gets it.
Beautifully executed.
That puts him to the top of the tower. A little too high, so he has to drop down to get to the big chest and the compass chest. Could have fallen in front of the big chest, but now he's going to have to bomb jump.
Ooh. Taking a slip there, and that's going to be all the way down.
Yeah, now he's fallen too far down. He's going to have to climb back up. So what he was trying to do was do a spin on the pit, and if you do it, you release your spin, walk back onto solid land, then it'll put you on the topmost pixel. Because all these bomb jumps are, you have to be on the very highest pixel for them to work.
MM2 taking the intentional bomb death there, back on 1 hearts, gets the refill.
Yep. Leslie skipping the Hera pot.
Yeah, you don't have a choice when you're on low hearts, and this time around MM2 is going to drop right in front of the big chest, but that bomb damage to do Hera pot does take a heart piece or a heart container to do it. So
Yeah, also Leslie was low on bombs, so that'd be another good reason not to do Hera pot. Did just skip a bomb pot.
I'm sure MM2 was thrilled to have to go all the way back up the tower for the compass and the big chest.
Yeah.
What do you think, Aussie? Hammer strats here on Fighter Sword?
Every time. 3 hits with the hammer, 6 with Fighter Sword.
Well, just as fast as he was on screen, he's off screen. There goes Moldorm, and MM2's grabbing the first crystal of the match. 34 minutes in. Super pack. Which you said had been abundant already.
And that was the first item in the dungeon. So there's going to be an item behind the fire locked tile room that they'll have to leave. I think he's grabbing his bottle here. Like, my first thought was Spike Cave, but you need an invulnerability item for that.
Setting up another bomb jump here. A lot of precision going on.
Yeah, that's that bomb jump is bigger than pretty much all the other bomb jumps that they do. You have to clip into the wall a little bit to make it across. So it's extra precision. And he's going to do his high jump check for money. But the big decision now is how they're going to start the Dark World. So what do you think we're going to see?
Which direction they're going to head?
Yeah. Like Hype Cave or Village.
I don't know. I'm feeling Village. I think because you can get the sick kid check in on the way in too. Maybe if they didn't have flute, but
Yeah, they have that powder check too.
And just 2 minutes behind, Leslie Pro picking up first crystal of the match, taking down Moldorm.
Yeah, but Leslie still has to go get that Moon Pearl out of Spiral Cave. So MM2 picked up a potion.
Putting my words right in my mouth there, MM2 and Hype Cave. I don't know why I bother. Well, I made the last prediction, so Aussie, do you think it's going to be a Hype Cave or do you think it's a bust?
I think we're going to see progression here. I'm just curious if it's going to be a fire source. And how much he wants to go into pod if he were to find a fire source. Turtle Rock, Swamp Pendants, and I think that was Ice as Red Crystal.
Yep. Ooh, Spring Ball's not a lot of use without a ball to bounce with in the first place. MM2 showing some distaste there.
Yeah, that counts as a win for MM2. Perfect cave.
And we're getting the sick kid check.
This is 4 heart, green male, dark world. So 2 hits from anything is enough.
Yeah, between the bomb jump precision and the low heart count on green male, if you don't play this game or you don't play regularly enough, they're really impressive runners to be able to handle some of the stuff that's thrown their way.
Yeah, for sure. Like even with a sword already to keep the enemies away, you just take so much random damage. That's big.
Ready to go to work. Leslie Pro picking up the Titans mitts at Magic Bat. So out of logic here. Oh, no, they have the powder. I'm sorry. Isn't logic.
We could see them go right back up the mountain. That'd be safer than other Dark World checks.
MM2 feeling the vibe. Went the same direction. So evening it up right there. That's big.
I'm not sure that I like this Agena check from Leslie, because you can try to combine it with other things later. And you have a lot open to you right now. But they're both doing it.
Well, if it had been something, it would have been nice, but just a pack of missiles. We are going to get to see what our medallion key is here.
Yep. The one definitely required medallion is Quake. So I think I'd like to see Mountain for Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave. I'm not sure where MM2 is going. He's already done Hype Cave.
Maybe it was so bad he thinks it's a bad dream and he's going back to try again.
Yeah, he wants to put that spring ball back in its box. Oh, he's gonna do Village from below, I guess.
So while we're traversing here, Ozzy, any thoughts on what might be kind of a pain tonight? What might elude the runners as we get late game?
The current pain is going to be this low health Dark World. Let's see. What do we need for go mode, I guess? It's like Fire Rod and not too much in this seed. I think Morph is going to show up before too long. So I guess I'd say it's Fire Rod. Or maybe Quake. Quake is always idle.
Well, MM2 on a treasure hunt. Finds something pretty nice, but it's really just quality of life there. But picking up the screw attack, it certainly makes traversing through enemies and rooms slightly easier, but doesn't help with movement at all. So
Yeah, I guess that opens like 1 or 2 checks in criteria without Morph. And if we ever see a Various suit, then it'll open up Screw Attack.
Two for one sale on missiles there in Super Bunny Cave. So getting
little bit of
some real
money.
divergence here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just more nothing in hammer pegs. There's our morph ball.
You called it.
Yeah, so it looks like Leslie's caught on to the intended progression path. Oh, and charge beam.
Also nice quality of life. It keeps you from getting, not that we need it with our super count, but it does keep you from soft locking on if you run out of ammo.
Yeah, with what they found for like safeties so far, Super Metroid's the safer game, so they might just prioritize that just for comfort.
Well, Leslie found the morph ball, but MM2 finds our first fire source. That's the lamp. Not really sure how they made a lamp with a hammer, but...
It looks like MM2 is going to be putting off Mountain for some time. Oh, with that lamp, he can do pod, even. He's probably looking for more safeties by the time he gets over there.
At this point, I don't think you feel too stressed about the basement of Hera.
No. Plus, it's pretty inconvenient to get back to. But if he does manage to find, like, Mirror before getting to Hookshot Cave, then yeah, he'd have a way to combo it in. But MM2 bought a blue potion earlier. So I think he did that anticipating this Dark World on low health. Leslie's into Super Metroid.
I like the Super Metroid play a lot. A lot of times I see this race run because so often you can clear things you have to clear anyway, and it gives you time to think and possibly like that pick up something nice when you go back into Zelda.
Yeah, with what they'd have, I'd prefer a Super Metroid play here. Like that sword that Leslie found is going to help a lot. He's going to get hearts here, and it'll make his Link to the Past a lot safer and faster. Because right now, Super Metroid is the faster game to collect items in. But Link to the Past does have clear progression that they can go towards.
All right, Leslie Pro going toe-to-toe here with Kraid. Well, I guess toe to hand. And gets the quick kill. Beautifully done. Well, feeling a little vain today. Kraid was holding on to the mirror. Yep. That's a big find.
Leslie continues to hit with his routing choices. And then Mirror is going to help when he gets to Village of Outcasts. And that's something that MM2 won't have for this trip.
Yeah, and it was MM2 that did the Smith chain, so having to take the frog all the way around back through Link's house and back to the light world, so...
Yeah, both of them having a bit of trouble with their respective dungeons. But Powder bringing MM2 back up to safety.
"40 supers already. Not even an hour in.
I was wondering how Leslie was going to route this, but he actually has a pretty good path through Meridia with speed and so many supers. Red Tower would be difficult to get up. So I think he's going to do the Spazer check and then turn around for Meridia. Repowdering that anti-fairy.
Leslie Pro's routing right now is next level. Space jump hiding up there. Now that makes you wonder, maybe Red Tower play after that find. Although Meridia is even juicier now, you move through freely.
Yeah, like that helps either direction. It's gonna help with Meridia. And it looks like that's the direction he's going. MM2 is up to a bit of a healthier number of hearts for Dark World now.
Just a little bit of cash in the hammer chest. But MM2 is going to get another crystal out of this dungeon, which we're going to have to do at some point. So, and it's not like the fighter sword makes a difference for blind. Makes the dungeon a little easier, but to have something better. But
yeah, blind is a scripted fight. You just have to stay on script, and it's very important he stays on script.
it's 9 hits from any weapon in the game. So that's 6 down for MM2, just 3 more.
Yeah, the hearts started falling, but he got the last hit in, and blind is down. He has another crystal.
It's Mama Turtle packing for us. Oh, Cane of Burna. So there's your Spike Cave check.
Yeah, also a great blind weapon.
Yeah, we were frame for the first half an hour or so, but the big divergence that we're looking at here is Leslie Pro found the Morph Ball in Hookshot Cave and decided to take that into Super Metroid, and it's definitely paid off. Found a Master Sword, mirror behind Kraid. Just picked up Space Jump.
And what we're seeing is that without the mirror, MM2 is really breaking up his routing and kind of doubling back in a couple of places to get this purple chest check in. And then he's still have to go back to like K45. And he's just losing routing efficiency.
And MM2 is going to take that lamp into pod. It could still be something good in there, but it definitely, as of right now, seems like Super Metroid was the juicier catch of the day.
Yeah, I definitely think Super Metroid is the safer way to go about this. But they did get an early bow, and having the other items to clear pod, he might be trying to follow that as a progression path. But then we know that Morph Ball is already available in Hookshot Cave, and that itself opens up so many items.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if we were just missing Morph Ball on one end, but knowing what Morph Ball brought behind it, you know, there's not really too much left that can be found on this side. But there are still some things, and something we mentioned, that Fire Rod is going to be required. So if it's in an obscure place, I mean, that's what happens with Rando. So it's definitely early.
Yeah, they still have some items that can like hide themselves anywhere, and you're not done looking until you find them.
Quake is another one that really nothing locks it other than it can't be in Mire. That's it. So
Turtle Rock is also Quake, so they're kind of looking for Quake to be their go mode to have them stay out of Turtle Rock, as it is a pendant. But go mode Fire Rod would be a similar situation.
first sand pit is a bust. Sorry, go ahead.
So Leslie's gonna do the sand pits before his Dragon kill. And then likely be leaving behind Plasma and Check Tool, as he doesn't have a way to make those checks with what he currently has. So left sand pit is up next. Okay, that's something that you want to keep. He could come back for it after Dragon. Getting it now means he has to loop around Meridia or leave.
And with the Master Sword, that puts those tablets in logic.
True.
We kind of already had desert access with the mirror, but
Yeah, so that's going to add on more value to his eventual purple chest check. And another isolated check for MM2.
well, here's your fire rod.
There's my fire rod. So MM2's happy to see that. Gives him another crystal he can do with Skullwoods. And if he really wants, he can go to Ice Palace. Breaking flippers.
Yeah, the problem for MM2 is that's not an obscure enough location. Leslie will make way through here at some point.
Yeah, so we're there's not too many items they need for go mode with that fire rod found. With Swamp Pendant, you don't need flippers. Turtle Rock Pendant. So it's potentially boots and Varia suit probably, and then that Quake medallion is the big one to find.
Yeah, I have a feeling Quake is going to be the thing here.
Could pop up anywhere at all.
MM2 taking the intentional death, reset the dungeon. Doesn't have the mirror, so I can't go back. An X-ray visor swap for an E-tank today. Not a bad pickup where we're at right now.
Yeah, if you get enough E-tanks, you can go for the Varia skip. So I don't know if we'll see that if Varia ends up being hidden in the seed. Screw Tack's in a easy enough spot to find, and They have okay movement items already, so the loadout's there with all this ammo too.
I mean, Leslie is short of spring ball right now, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's always the chance that he skips Hype Cave. His ret's been working pretty well.
I mean, that's the thing that it always is about these races. You know, both routes were pretty justifiable at the time. Just one happened to have a little more reward behind it.
Phaser. Is that our first beam to go with Charge Beam?
That is the first beam I've seen. Doesn't get enough love. People are too mean to the Spacer Beam.
Compared to Power Beam, it's twice as good. That makes it a strong beam.
And Helmosaur King making an appearance over on MM2's side.
Yeah, it can be a tricky fight on, well, on 2 hearts, definitely. It's tricky. So he's going to burn his potion on that to heal up. Helmet Sword is 2 hearts on every attack. So he would have died without the potion, probably. Mask Off phase is a lot harder to dodge all the hits. And that's why he's doing all these pause buffers, so he can react to the attacks.
Yeah, real smart play on the pause buffers because, again, we mentioned this earlier, but you're on green mail, you're sitting at, what's that, 6 hearts? So, yeah, impressive movement on MM2's side to get Helmosaur down. Unfortunately, the reward is not quite worth the effort put in. Just a piece of heart, but does pick up the 3rd crystal of the match at an hour in.
Yeah, he's going to have a good path to most of his crystals. And it could be that Leslie ends up doing extra Super Metroid checks that would lead him away from the Fire Rod or anything else that are in these crystal dungeons. But there's a Varia suit.
Break out the change of clothes. That's a big fine.
But it also opens up more Super Metroid checks that could burn time. Being right outside of a Super Metroid boss, MM2 might get to that before diving into the slower checks. But that all depends on where the items actually are in the order they get them.
Now, that is a good point, though, that you raise. You know, Leslie could spend more time. I mean, SM's the quicker game to clear by far, but could spend enough time looking through Super Metroid to give MM2 a chance to, you know, get that Morph Ball. And by the time MM2 picks up the Morph Ball, I mean, more of A Link to the Past will obviously be cleared. So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, so what have we found on Leslie's side in Super Metroid? We've had a sword, a mirror, and a Varia suit, and that space jump. But those are all in, like, not out of the way locations. MM2 took unfortunate death. Is going to skip the catfish check for now, and instead do his Dark Death Mountain and pick up his Charge Beam and Morph Ball.
That's a rough one, because that's your vanilla Quake if that's where it turns out to be, so...
Too true. Quakefish has burned many a runner.
As chat pointing out, though, is going to push him closer to his morph ball. So it looks like we're on the way to picking that up. Be interested to see what MM2's decision process is after grabbing that morph ball. Because it does have, Skull Woods and things to open up as well. Options that Leslie didn't have when Leslie picked up the morph ball. What do you think, Asa? You grab that, do you head straight to SM after having to wait this long?
Yeah, I think at this point you still want more items that make Link to the Past faster. Like another sword for Moth, another sword for Ice Palace, and like a tunic upgrade. So I think you go into Super Metroid. But we're counting our Go mode items, so you probably focus on the boss regions and don't do a Bryn start.
MM2 and Hookshot Cave making the pull. That is the morph ball. And about the same time, we have Fantoon down and the power restored for Leslie Pro.
Yeah, I'm not sure how MM2 feels about that morph ball. Probably okay with what he has done up to now, because he was working towards crystals, but who knows?
Well, if you don't see the other routing, it's not like MM2's wasted any time. It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
unfortunately, there's a lot of good stuff behind that morph ball. Maybe not a lot of good stuff, but a lot of specific stuff. The mirror, which would have helped all that routing out. Another sword, which would have helped all that routing out.
Yeah, Leslie has been collecting minor items like heart containers that are help his Link to the Past. So won't have to watch his health as closely as MM2 did. Starting with the
MM2
ice
going
beam
down.
area,
Yeah.
I'll run. So we know these checks are in logic because of Speed Booster and the various suit that Leslie has. But MM2 probably just thinks they're fast enough to do while he's here.
I do wonder if we find something.
Oh, that's
Oh,
worth.
there's another sword. Yeah. So that's a tempered available to our runners. Both our runners on Master Sword right now, but they've each grabbed a different sword upgrade. So
Yeah, I could see MM2 taking the same route up through Super Metroid that Leslie took.
if Leslie finds Quake somewhere on this way out, there's a good chance we get a bigger clear of Norfair on Leslie's side, which MM2 may be able to skip with the Fire Rod pickup. I mean, speculation, but I like to see the race as close as possible.
Yeah, without the lamp, I guess Leslie might want to put off Pod. And like lamp isn't in a crystal dungeon, it's over at the smith. So he's not going to rush to that. So it could be that he does a lot of slower checks before getting to a pod. And then Fire Rod being the other item that you'd want in place of lamp is in pod.
And MM2 has high jump. I don't remember where that got picked up. Did you happen to see that one?
No, I missed that. There's our last sword, though. Wreck ship attic.
Retracting my former statement of tempered sword are highest available. And MM2, little swaggy moonwalk there backwards, but a real nice quick kill on both sides today.
Just wondering if... Did Leslie not open the left side door here? I guess he didn't. Okay, so he had to re-kill all the enemies. And that cost him a bit of time.
So we got a mirror grab on MM2's side, and chat saying high jump was at the top of Thieves Town.
Okay. So Leslie will get that, but it'll be after most of his Super Metroid clear. And then that'll be time that MM2 is gaining here. He has high jump and speed booster, and that's really comfy movement. But this wreck ship that Leslie's doing, it can be late in the route, so you might think about skipping it. And so far, we've just seen the tempered at the top here.
Yeah, tempered, master to tempered, the biggest damage jump in the game. Gold to tempered is better, but it's not as nice of a time save.
Yeah, they're both already on tempered, so they should be happy to finish with us and not go out of their way looking for gold.
MM2 getting his space jump. We'll see. It looks like he's going to take that directly in Meridia. And Leslie didn't go back for the Dragon kill after grabbing that book.
Yep, true.
So that's another kind of loop around we're going to have to make. And Wreck Ship Reserve not paying out today.
Really nice short charge by MM2. Getting the main street speed item, first try.
I don't think we've seen, other than that sword upgrade, I don't think there's been anything nice in Wreck Ship. Am I forgetting something?
Yeah, it's just the various suit that was outside that was worthwhile. MM2 is an RBO runner, so he could think about skipping Varia, but right now his E-tank count is really low.
Gonna get up here to Criteria Power Bombs. I would imagine a Gauntlet Peak as well.
Yeah, and then this could be where Leslie commits to the Bryn loop. Like, sinks all the time into that. Or he could leave and try to follow Varia. That'd be totally justifiable too. Get his lower Norfair and upper Norfair out of the way.
Do you have thoughts either way? What would you, in their shoes, what do you think you'd lean towards?
I think it's hard to be in their shoes when I've seen both screens and know where this fire rod is.
Well, I'll apologize for trying to make good conversation now.
So to answer your question, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about all these crystals that are available, but I haven't been doing. So yeah, I think at this point you want to focus the crystals. Lower Norfair is also a good option, but that depends on your comfort with that screw attack.
Ooh. Well, our first look here is just a heart container. Let's see what the back back room of Gauntlet has here? Yeah, see, I feel like I'd lean towards Norfair just to get it over with while we're here, but the screw attack play, yeah, that would linger. That would be kind of frustrating to push through.
So
Gauntlet wasn't
that's
worth the walk.
yeah, just more safeties in that heart. And it looks like he's continuing, so this will be the full Bryn loop. And I think we're probably going to see MM2 try for a Bryn skip. That's something that people like to try to attempt in the late game. If you are doing Bryn Star as late as they are here.
MM2 resetting on that book has the knowledge, could finish Dragon and come back and get it. I'd be a little leery to ditch that completely, just because we're kind of running out of places.
Yeah, like this is the reason why I kind of like doing Dragon before the sandpit checks, because then you don't have to make a decision between keeping the item or going to Dragon.
If my memory serves me, this sandpit's a total bust, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep our eyes on Leslie to see what he finds in this Bryn loop, which has a lot of items, but all that matters is if they have the required items.
It's our first male upgrade.
Yeah, he's
Definitely helps.
He's gonna have all the safeties he needs for Dark World, like MM2's 4 heart trip through Dark World.
Yeah, MM2 with the 6 heart Helmosaur kill.
Yeah. Bought that potion in advance and made good use of it.
It's planning ahead.
This is a full halfy attempt. Nice ledge grab. And there he goes.
Gorgeous.
Well done.
That's what I'm talking about. Just the precision and the consistency. It's just so much fun to watch.
I think that looks like a Various skip powerbomb grab. So he might be thinking about that. Because you don't really need 30 power bombs otherwise.
It's gonna be. Well, you said he's an RBO runner, so has the experience at it. But it's gonna be rough knowing how free that gravity or that Various suit was.
Yeah, but if it's the last item they need, then you can just skip it. If there's nothing behind it.
Ooh, this Bryn loop has yielded a plasma beam for Leslie Pro. There's your damage upgrade for Super Metroid.
Yeah. So MM2's Dragon fight. He's using Sparks as his main source of damage, and that can go either really good or really poorly. He gets a nice finish. His last 2 sparks really good. And now trying to get a spike suit out of this. Usually a little harder with Spring Ball on. We are looking at 2 bosses, 1 crystal for Leslie, and 2 bosses, 3 crystals for MM2. Progression-wise, MM2 is up the fire rod and the lamp. And Leslie has the Varia suit.
And that's what we had mentioned earlier about kind of how these things play out. Leslie Pro, making the early SM play, yielded some nice stuff, but at this point MM2 is caught up with everything except the Varia, so now Leslie is kind of lingering in SM and could really afford to go grab some progression as far as crystals and that eventual fire rod.
Yeah, exactly. He did find early progression in Super Metroid, but that just meant as soon as MM2 got to Super Metroid, he found the progression right away. So this shot Leslie is doing, you need to be aligned with the wall on the left side. Like pixel aligned with it. Yeah,
There
like
we
you
go.
got there at the end.
I'm happy to see MM2 grabbing that book. Wave gate glitch yielding nothing. So between the racers, we're really on the hunt for Quake. And I don't think there's anything else.
Potentially Boots, but definitely Quake.
That's right. We haven't seen Desert yet. Or Big Key and Gannons.
Yeah, Desert is like a 50-50 on if you need Boots or not. And then the Ganon Tower Torch is much lower odds, the 1 in 22.
I always thought the odds were 1 in 1 when you didn't have boots going in. Isn't that how that works?
One hopes not.
I tease. I'm gonna get in the back of the blue Bryn here. Side hopper check on Leslie Pro's side. Here's your bombs. Convenient. Really doesn't help with anything, but it's nice. And we are getting a new check on MM2's side. That's Plasma. Able to do this because of the screw attack that he picked up at the dig game.
Yeah, he's turning his book pickup into a plasma check, and could see him leave out the Meridia portal or
Shovel down there.
Have a fetch quest.
Do you think someone's buried the medallion?
There's a good chance that this Bryn loop has something required, and that shovel would be one of the more interesting options.
What do we got upstairs? An E-tank and missiles.
And missiles.
And MM2 is going over to the Dark World here. Going to be popping out right in front of Ice Palace. Can't get in this way, but...
Yeah, I think I could see MM2 going straight to crystals right now. He knows he just needs Quake and might be planning on skipping Varia. So he can focus on the definitely required crystal dungeons. This is a desert check to see if he also needs boots.
Yeah, I like this play. Possibly loop in checkerboard too while you're up here.
It looks like he's starting with checkerboard.
And Leslie wrapping up the Brinstar. Just going to have to check the shaft missiles here. But other than the shovel, I don't think we saw anything. And the shovel's not even a guarantee.
Yeah, like plasma's not good enough. So if it's a shovel, then that's good for Leslie. But I don't think even if it's at Shaft or like 230 Bomb Chorizo, that's good enough. Yeah, bombing the Poyos make it a little easier to jump over.
$300 doesn't buy you entrance to Misery Mire, so we keep looking.
The one other thing that both runners would like to see is the boots for the just mobility, because they're still walking around in Link to the Past.
And we don't get that desert check. Instead, we're going to backdoor our way into Lower Norfair here.
So this could be a reset to ship, and then we won't have that desert check.
All right, so we got bombs that screw attack, and what's Gold Frieza have?
Double herpes.
I mean, it gets you halfway there.
This isn't a very friendly super count for GT. It's like isn't an easy fight.
This is awful. MM2 still sitting without a Various suit. Gonna be taking constant damage down here.
Yeah, like he's practiced at this fight as part of RBO, but he has to farm these supers and jump out of the safe spot. And his health is ticking down the whole time. But he doesn't really need any of these items, so it really make more sense to just reset.
Does get the kill, though. Very impressive. Gonna drain that reserve tank just a little bit. Just in the nick of time picking up energy there. We did see that Bomb Teresa was holding another heart piece. So Leslie Pro noping out of there. And it looks like MM2 just wanted to get those GT checks. Maybe we'll see a desert check here.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the desert check first into that ship reset. But I also think that he might be going into Crystal Dungeons after this and might not want to commit to Wreck Ship. Definitely doesn't want to do Bryn Loop if he can skip it.
Well, on the topic of committing to plays, we've got Leslie Pro in Thieves Town now. Does have the mirror, so it'll be a little smoother sailing through here.
Yeah, like if Leslie just does the full clear route down Type Cave, then he'll pick up his lamp and he'll be ready to go into pod.
That's a swanky pull. MM2 finding Blue Mail. So that's both mail upgrades, but really Blue Mail's the big pickup, so...
I believe we saw a Boots Lock Desert as the real find there. The information gain.
That's disappointing news, I'm sure, for MM2.
Required to get boots in this seed. I haven't seen flippers yet. Flippers can be anywhere. But we're doing flipper checks.
Flippers are like a suggestion if you're not doing Swamp Palace.
Yeah. I feel like he's going into Ice Palace right after this. So just doing these checks first because they're here. And logically you want flippers for Ice Palace, but the dungeon is fast enough to clear with what he has that now's a great time to do it.
Leslie Pro climbing way through Thieves Town. This is stuff we've already seen from MM2. So getting new information. A nice palace here.
Yeah, we'll be able to see for ourselves those high jump boots when Leslie gets them.
I think chat said they were in the attic.
Bringing out the red cane for Icebreaker.
This is another one. I love watching this one done. Beautiful job.
Yeah,
Both
he did
runners
a
have
great job
been
on that.
executing, pretty flawlessly when it comes to some of these moves and strats. And there it was, high jump in the attic.
Already done most of Super Metroid, but he does still have Lower Norfair left. And it'll still be a big help there.
I don't think we've seen the shovel check from Leslie Pro, so that's kind of one more piece of the puzzle that could be huge, could be nothing, but Leslie Pro, the only runner to find our shovel down in Blue Bryn.
Yeah, he's gonna wrap that in with his South Dark World checks, most likely. Part of his routing efficiency, that mirror. It's just such a clean route when you have all these items. But another way to look at it is that he doesn't necessarily need any of those items. Lamp is skippable if you decide to go to pod. But of course, you want that lamp before going to pod.
It's a real chicken or the egg scenario. Half magic. Nice quality of life, but not going to help us really here.
Yeah, if you do the pre-planned cold stare strat with tempered sword, then you're not going to need the half magic. But it's a great backup.
Leslie on the scripted blind fight here. See if we can stay on.
Still 9 hits with this tempered sword.
Great first 2 phases. And that's blind down. So 2 crystals in an hour and 31 minutes for Leslie Pro as MM2 getting ready to drop into the next crystal fight here. We got a cold steer battle going on. MM2 trying to keep Cold Steer in the corner, but despite getting away, that half magic fire rod combo doing wonders. So that's another crystal, so up to 4 crystals for MM2.
Yep, M2 still able to focus on his boss kills. I see a Skullwoods play next. That's another clearable crystal. And then we'll see what both runners decide to do after that.
So Leslie's going to grab Screw here at the dig game. Already has the various suit. So does this influence you back into Lower North? You're still looking for that fire rod and lamp.
I think the plasma find was already pretty strong. He did also get the high jump boots too. So Screw and high jump together. You could easily do Lower Norfair. But then you also don't want to leave behind these other checks that are right here. So we're going to see him make these checks first. It is going to give him the lamp, and then he can have his choice between Lord Norfair, Pod, and MM2 is inside of the Skull Woods now. Figuring that out. Yeah, the item we don't want to see is the flippers. So that's going to open up another pendant dungeon that they don't want to have to go into.
The Smith's running an IKEA today, giving out furniture. Now, we did see all these checks on MM2's side, but with the lamp, as we've said, just smoother routing, going to be on Leslie's side.
Yeah, the new checks for Leslie are going to be K45, the shovels, and Combo's tablet.
And chat predicting some horribly evil things here. The possibility of flippers on Moth.
Yeah, that would just give MM2 so many choices.
I mean, I don't want it. Our runners certainly don't want it.
He already has the choice of like really committing to the various skip and doing some hell runs, trying to get go mode before digging out various suit. But we're not going to see that just yet.
Moment of truth here. Do we bury a medallion? It's gold.
We got gold.
But it's not what we were hoping to find. So that shovel pull in Bryn means the entire blue Bryn run was, kind of pointless here. Certainly a good play with the information Leslie had at the time, but it's tough to see it not pay out.
Yeah, Bryn Loop just has so many items that you can't ignore it. It's like, even one item from Go, it's totally reasonable to check for that. And he's still looking for 2 right now. 3, actually. Quake, Fire Rod, and Boots.
Well, half magic is nice on the Moth fight.
Yeah, you'd like to do the tempered hits, but the Fire Rod splash lingers a little longer and is better for hitting Moth against spikes. And with this, he's going to pick up 5th crystal.
Here's another item that we kind of grabbed. That book giving us tablet checks. Unfortunately, Bombos is nothing.
Yeah, so those extra checks that Leslie gets all turned out dead.
And MM2 is going to take a peek and see what's on Ped here.
Not Boots. Good. Yeah, if we are looking for the Quake medallion, Turtle Rock is Quake, so it could not have been on Ped.
That's right, I forgot Leslie did not make way to Hype Cave.
Trying to short charge on the ship, just to show off. So Leslie can continue this up, either to Catfish or to Pod. You can flute back to Pod whenever you want, so you don't have to turn right here.
Catfish. That's another one. MM2 died on the way up to Catfish. We don't know what's up there. That's Vanilla Quake.
Yeah, that would be probably his last check. If it does end up being the Quake.
And MM2 making much quicker work of the gauntlet, having screw attack, but unfortunately is going to be just as disappointed as Leslie was when he gets to the end of this trail.
Yeah, staying in the other game, you find better items for the game that you're not in. And so when you do switch, it goes faster. Leslie had fewer of those good Super Metroid items. Like he didn't have high jump or screw attack for his Super Metroid clear, but MM2 didn't have mirror for his trip through Link to the Past.
It'll be interesting to see how far MM2 wants to go down with this. There's all of the Bryn loop available. There is Wreck Ship though, and okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing Bryn loop here. Just making the gauntlet loop back to ship. And then Dark Cross was nothing. So MM2 not punished by that death either.
Did we see Catfish? No.
I'm not sure. Looked away.
It looks like chat saying mirrored into castle directly, so we didn't see a Catfish. So that's still lingering in possibilities. And that's one of those things that it's like, it's unlikely at the start of the game, but as we narrow down locations more and more, the value grows, and a Catfish is a supremely out of the way check. We are going to get the ether tablet though. Well, our tablets were missiles and more missiles.
Yep, so didn't really need that book in the seed. But he is going back for the tile room of Hera. So that's another location that can be put off for a very long time.
That's the same vibe as Catfish. In the beginning, you're kind of happy to pass it up when you don't have the fire access, but now it's got a lot more weight to it as we're running out of locations. But speaking of weight to items, MM2 does grab the various suit. So MM2 knows that he can head down to Lower Norfair at any time. Doesn't have to worry about how it runs. Completely capable of doing it, but obviously you're just happier not to have to deal with all that.
Yeah, he was probably ready to go for it, but finding Vera, he's probably gonna go into the heated rooms more quickly because it has a lot of checks down there, plus a boss. I think since he still needs 2 items, he full clears Wreck Ship. But fully possible that he skips the top. We know there's nothing there. Leslie taking a coffee break.
I could go for some coffee right now. Yeah, I could go for some coffee. All that effort and the delicious coffee to go along with it, but unfortunately it is not what we're looking for. Just super missiles hiding down there in the Hera basement.
Yeah, this was still the best time to make that check. He gets to combine it with Ether Tablet and Spike Cave.
That's right. We haven't seen Spike Cave either.
Yeah, and they have that blue cane, putting it in logic.
Blue cane provided by Mama Turtle.
Just arrows. So what are we gonna see? I feel like it should be either Lord Norfair or Pod. It is Pod.
Fortunately for Leslie. Yeah, looks like it's gonna be that pod play.
Yeah, this is really good for Leslie. Gonna get that fire rod. I'll put him on even footing progression-wise with MM2.
And we're kind of seeing the plays even each other out here because MM2 could have had the opportunity to skip a lot of this had he found, Quake somewhere along the way in the boots, but still searching for all this, it's kind of evening back up. Now, MM2 definitely has the crystal count lead, but Leslie Pro is going to be matching up in equipment, so big value at the back here with Fire Rod.
Yeah, I guess with what we've seen combined, it looks like that Variasuit is going to lead to either the boots or the Quake, at least. Because there aren't too many more items or locations that they can check.
We did pass up on Shaq.
Yeah, Shack requiring the grapple beam to logically get to. So they're hoping to not find that. But Leslie does have plasma location open to him now, so he could theoretically go back for that. And MM2 has those mirror checks.
And MM2 does stumble upon the gold sword. Again, not the gold item he's hoping to find.
Flying through this attic.
Screw attack makes a difference. And to answer a question in chat, I don't think that a clip is ever logically required. You logically would need grapple. I actually forgot they didn't have grapple, so that's why I mentioned Shaq.
I guess for the moment, they're cleaning up checks that the other has already done. MM2 doing this nice bowling cutscene as soon as he makes it over this pit of spikes. And Leslie is collecting his keys out of the front of Pod before getting to the fire rod in the back.
MM2 also going for the wreck ship reserve. A little bit of a time sink, and we know it doesn't pay out like he's hoping it will. So, I mean, it makes for an exciting race. It's given Leslie Pro some time to catch up on crystals here.
Yeah, we're into a Quake hunt where it could be anywhere. Boots could also be anywhere. Just locking the one remaining item in desert. And the few boots checks.
I mean, the ugliness here of the possibility of boots being in Turtle Rock becomes
yes.
all...
So they're hoping to get boots first, not just because it makes the game faster.
Or
To
worse,
avoid that turtle rock.
flippers in Turtle Rock.
There are definitely ugly possibilities out there. Pendant, independent for progression.
And Leslie Pro about to be very happy, but also possibly feeling concerned about leaving this here for so long. There's your fire rod, Leslie. Nice pickup.
Screw Tack GT has been checked on MM2's side. As before he had the various suit, so he didn't continue. But it would make sense for him to go right back now and clear out Lauren Orfair. Since from Wreck Ship he did get that various suit. And Ridley just makes a lot of sense to do like as soon as you have a good item set for it.
And little time saves here. But, you know, Leslie Pro coming back through here with a mirror, something MM2 didn't have. So doesn't have to bother with a death warp. Instead can just flip back to the front real quick.
Yep. Also going to have a faster Helmet Sword fight. Doesn't have to watch his health. And a Gold Sword. I guess it's Tempered Sword. So Tempered Sword is 4 hits instead of a whole lot of arrows. That remaining sword was at Ice Beam, which MM2 picked up as soon as he entered Super Metroid, but Leslie did not.
Yeah, we're not going to see that gold sword on Leslie's side unless we are really bare bones checks here for Quaker boots. And even then...
Yeah, it would have to be like this lower Norfair to upper Norfair leading to a pendant dungeon access. And then that's when you think about doing Croc with like Ice Beam.
Well, we haven't seen Croc on either side. No reason Croc can't be holding on to some shiny medallions or swanky shoes.
Nice Croc boots. Of course, Screw Attack, high jump speed makes Lauren Orfair very comfortable. Just going through all the rooms as fast as you can.
Yeah, chat pointing out MM2 is about to... Oh, and there's just a few more supers for the road. MM2 is about to let loose on Ridley here. Very nice loadout for this fight. Speaking of nice loadouts, Leslie Pro making short work of Helmosaur King, picking up his third crystal of this match here. Hour and 51 minutes. And MM2 is going to drop down, take on Ridley. This should be quick.
He's going to show us the... Well, I thought it would be a 30 super fight, but he's opening with missiles. Maybe related to RBO practice. That was probably 6 missiles as a way to save a super. This fight takes 30 supers. And then jump into the claws, and the boss dies.
MM2 continuing with the theme of the night, which is wonderfully beautiful execution.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, just an E-tank, but that is a required boss fight, so I had to come down here anyway. Well, we make the trek back, and Leslie begins to dig through Skull Woods here. I do see those links in chat. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please consider giving a follow. Both these runners work extremely hard, practicing all throughout the year to be able to put on great content, and this race certainly has been exciting to watch. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, show some support, give them a follow, as well as our awesome behind-the-scenes team and my great co-commentator, Aussie. Thanks so much for letting me join you tonight.
Yeah, it's been great calming with you so far. Inline. Can give Inline a follow there. Link also in the chat. So MM2 is coming up on a nice batch of new checks, starting with the Fire Fleas. So we'll have a nice few items in a row while Leslie catches up on crystals.
And of course, keeping us completely honest throughout the whole night with what's going on. Huge shout out to our tracker, Maid. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and keeping us well informed.
Not much to be seen here in Lore Warfare, but he was able to get the boss kill out of this, and these items are all on path, leading him into Upper Warfare.
The Lower Warfare was kind of like a Monday. You know, you do what you got to do, but nothing really came out of it. Happy to get the kill down, but you had to go.
And then Musley, saving time on that Moth fight. Tempered is a really good weapon for fighting Moth. And gains another crystal.
What's wave gonna be? Oh, well,
It's the boots.
Hello.
Very nice find.
Definitely the order you want to find these two items in.
Oh yeah, we were talking about how bad the order can get, but now we have the skippable turtle rock.
MM2 has a little hustle in his step now for Link to the Past. Still going to clear out the rest of this Norfair area, at least Bubble Mountain area. Wonder if we'll see a Croc play. Looking for that medallion.
Yeah, I'd expect him to dip. Hey, Ice Rod. Gives
really.
other crystal, but dipping and then doing those boot checks into like a pyramid fairy, that can add up to a lot of time if it does end up being a Croc.
Yeah, Ice Rod normally frightens me when I find it, but given our situation here, TR is totally dead, but...
Yeah, he was able to find boots just before that Ice Rod, so no panic.
And taking the mirror up to Graveyard Ledge. Find just another Supers pack. There's our flippers, though.
Yeah, options are building.
We get the pair of shoes we want, and the pair of shoes we don't want.
Yeah, it's like the desert item, the turtle rock item, and the swamp item.
There's no reason that Quake can't be in Swamp.
It looked like a missile pack. Bubble Mountain.
So after all of our digging around, Norfair has everything that we're looking for.
Well, he's turning back. Turning back indicates Croc.
I mean, you're here. You know, it's a time sink if you don't need it, but you're here. And you're not going to be here again.
Yeah, and he's already done the Ice Beam and Crumble Tower checks, so he can't like route those into Croc later. So Croc is just on its own right now. And you probably would rather do Croc than Swamp. If it's not the second item in Desert. For Quake. Leslie getting the news on boots being required.
Certainly not the red item Leslie was hoping to pull out of that chest. But Leslie is on our full mail, full shield upgrade here with the loadout for A Link to the Past.
Yeah, we do need to remember that MM2 hasn't done Bryn Loop. So this Croc decision might be having that in mind, that he has so many checks available still in Bryn's there. So he might be playing more full Cleary before getting to that decision. Leslie gonna have a much nicer GT with Charged Plasma. And MM2 is showing off a Spike Suit.
Charged Plasma and Varia Suit. So not sitting here bleeding damage.
Oh, yes. Very important to not be constantly ticking down in health.
Well, let's see what else Croc had to hide for us tonight. Ooh.
Good call.
Cashing in on the crocodile.
Does MM2 have no beams?
MM2 has no beams.
It's not that often you get here with just charge and nothing else. But here we are. He has good ammo to finish the game. 85-50 is enough for purely ammo kill.
I mean, it does have charge, so wooden softlock would be an unbelievably awful drag out of time to have to do this with just a charge beam, but...
And he was able to get that Brinstar skip. So saved a load of time over Leslie. That.
At the 2-hour mark, MM2 is entering go mode. Already got 4 bosses down in SM.
Conveniently, these two last crystals are together in this mire area.
I think the only beam we haven't seen, if I'm not mistaken, is Wave.
We've seen Spazer and Plasma. I don't recall.
Oh, and Ice. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ice is something that they would still like to see for Metroids and Subskip. I guess we're counting convenience items now on MM2 side. It's like Silver Arrows, Ice Beam. And that's it, really. Leslie taking the sensible trip into Lower Norfair. He's gonna pick up his Ridley kill And then on the exit, drop off into Upper Norfair where all the items are. We get to see another 30 super fight on Leslie's side.
Lamolus is no more. MM2 grabbing that 6th crystal. Got one left right on the other side, hiding out in Misery Mire.
Yep, put that fire rod to good work. If he was planning on doing a spooky mire, then grabbing that crystal is going to undo the setup.
About the same time, though, Leslie Pro taking down Ridley. Again, our runners are sitting at some nice loadouts here for these late game bosses.
Yeah, Leslie did leave behind Dragon, so that's only his 3rd SM boss, and he'll have to go back for Dragon later.
Yeah, it's a shame, too, because I feel like the book really influenced that decision, and the book had a lot of potential to pay out at one point, but turned out to be nothing. And you know what else? Catfish turned out to be nothing. I mean, I guess it could be a quality of life item like silvers or ice, but certainly wasn't required.
No Quakefish today.
I've seen
Said
it
we
too
had
many
a
times.
bet on Croxseed. So we know that Leslie will be getting the boots before the Quake as well. So no fear of doing an extra Turtle Rock. But they will be picking up flippers in Upper Norfair. And then they'll have to make a decision on doing Croc before Swamp. I think I'd expect Leslie to go into Ice Palace, actually. I think they've been waiting on flippers before doing Ice. So we might not see a Croc play.
Well, Leslie definitely has some distance as far as the crystal count goes, and still having to go back for Dragon. I've seen crazier things happen for sure, but I think if we skip Croc, that's pretty much going to be it. We've got MM2 already in go mode, just kind of clearing through the rest of the game.
Yeah. Missing a big key. That is what you're looking for in this Mire trip. And there it is. Okay, so big key, pretty deep in Mire. Go mode Mire, so late big key.
Leslie going to be happy with this.
Yep, that's the boots.
They match perfectly with your red mail outfit.
Yeah, that's true. You do get to see the boots on your feet when you pick them up. MM2 actually going for AD Spooky, where you throw the block in the pit. I was close to it. You have to do a Fire Rod dash while the Fire Rod shot hits the anti-fairy.
I'm not even going to begin to understand how that works.
Yeah, like the first step is the Samaria block influencing your Fire Rod. However that works.
I just sit here consistently impressed. Got the cape out.
Yep. He has half magic, so he's good. If he did slashes, he could have got a lot of use out of that little bit of magic. What he did was pretty good.
Well, 2 hours, 9 minutes. MM2's grabbing crystal number 7 and heading up to Ganon's tower. Aussie, do you have a guess where you think the big key might be hiding out tonight?
The big key in this seed. I'm gonna guess 7. Lucky 7. The left side.
Chat throwing up some numbers here. I see 14. Gamer stealing my 11. I always guess 11. I guess I'll go with 4.
An early big key. So we'd like to see it in the first half of the checks. This is Leslie's decision point, and continuing left. It still could be Ice Beam down, since they have not checked ice. But Leslie has 2 crystals available right now. Oh, but did open the door. I think this save is really smart if you're going to Croc, especially. Like you go all the way down to grapple and then just reset and you're at the portal.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Leslie's not going to save scum Croc. Just a hint.
This will also be the 4th sword for Leslie. Now both rounders are on gold sword. We're getting a left start towards Stalfos room from MM2. Seeing some small keys. And a bottle. I feel like we haven't seen many bottles in this suit.
No, I don't recall. That might be our, maybe our 3rd. Might even be our 2nd. Ooh, was that 6?
That would be 6, yes.
So close, Aussie.
No.
Well, MM2 picking up the big key. Happy to see Leslie Pro dispatching of Croc.
Yeah, same. It'd be very tempting to leave and do your 2 crystals. But committing to the croc, gonna be rewarded.
I mean, Croc really is always there for you.
Then yeah, push him into the acid.
It's what you do to a true friend. Gonna grab this fairy fill over here. Down to the 3 hearts. And Leslie Pro snatching up the Quake medallion. Gonna be on go mode as well. Well, still go mode 2 for items. Has to finish up Super Metroid bosses here. I keep forgetting about Dragon.
Yep, so 214 go mode for Leslie. We'll probably see Dragon after Ganon. Seems like the best time to do it. So just gonna be rushing those crystal dungeons. Then we have MM2 making quick work of the gauntlet. His gold sword, his boots. And now with a fire rod as well. It's a bad hop from Landmo to the left. Getting an extra cycle. And using Gold Sword to finish it off. Gold Sword doing the same damage as Fire Rod Shot.
Yeah, still making quick work though. Gotta love the satisfaction of the Samaria room.
Missed that bottom left Wizrobe twice now.
Oh, got blocked
Spike.
by the spike.
Yeah, Spike doing its job. So we probably get to see these top chests on Ganon's Tower. He's still looking for that Ice Beam and Silver Arrows.
Not a ton we haven't seen. We do have a completely untouched Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock. But between our runners, we've seen most of the games here.
Yeah, that's correct. Not too much left. It's like back of Croc and one-off checks. But still, very good chance that it's in those pendant dungeons, and we won't be seeing ice or silvers. And then also the entire GT basement. Since MM2 did have that fairly quick big key.
That's true. We pulled 6 here, so. Well, MM2 stepping into our first appearance of Aghanim here. Always nice
6
when you can
hits.
skip that first one.
So it's 2 hits. First round, another 2. Let's see if we can finish it out here. Accidental upswing.
A nice double there again to clean it up.
4-round fight. Still pretty good. Leslie gonna get his big key in the last chest available. It's a little unfortunate. Just entered go mode now, full clearing this dungeon.
Yeah, Meyer is one of those that you really hope you can go mode and just get an early big key to move on, especially with that cutscene chest.
Gold sword making for an easy 1-in-1 Ganon. But it looks like he would have gotten it with tempered anyway. Having a nice Ganon fight.
I will say, I think I said it earlier, keeping up with the theme of the night, clean execution has been par for both our runners. Did you find the light arrows in the Dark World? So what's some Dark World stuff we didn't
there's
see
Catfish.
Catfish. MM2's making me nervous.
Yep, 12 spins in this phase 4. Tempered or gold. It's the same damage. Got a blue Ganon here. It's gonna cost them. It's a little bit of time. But still getting through the fight very steadily. And that's
There you
the
go.
first endgame boss down. So 1G for MM2.
Certainly worthy of a single G throw up here because it's been a very nice, very clean gameplay from MM2. I see chat speculating with where we might have missed those silver arrows. I don't think we saw Bumper Cave check.
It's possible when Leslie was doing Graveyard, but I didn't see it, so might not have.
I don't know, if I had to hedge my bets, I'd say Catfish pretty likely here.
Well, we don't have Cape, and Catfish is the available check. But getting really beat up by these eyes on Leslie's side.
Does Leslie have a fairy? No, we don't have a net.
It is 2 gold slashes per eye. Okay, it did make it through the fight, so that's good.
MM2 does have the cape. I don't remember where cape was.
Nice palace, chat says. Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing a cape.
Yeah, I know MM2 used it to fight Vitreous, so...
Why, yes. We did comment on that.
Well, neither here nor there. Leslie Pro. Done with yet another crystal. That's 5 crystals down for Leslie. Just 2 more to grab. We've got one here in Desert and one hanging out Nice Palace. In the meantime, MM2, after wrapping up Link to the Past, has made his way into the final sequence here for Super Metroid. And Sans Ice Beam is going to have to do this Power Bomb strat, so trying to collect all the Metroids into one place.
Yep. 5 powerbomb hits to kill a Metroid. So you want to get double hits, making it 3 powerbombs per room. And then grouping them up is all you can really do to speed up. That takes us to the baby skip attempt. He does not have a wave beam or a wide beam of any kind. So we'll see if he can manage it, since it looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, this is a kind of stacked against your favor here execution battle. Doing good though.
Yeah, they're all down. Just has to make the final jump. And he's through.
Really nice job. Beautiful.
Yep, great job keeping that the jump rope going for so long. Really cleared out the brambles.
I'm telling you, chat, it's been a whole night of just swag, just schmoving right through everything. Both runners very consistent. And I was so distracted by that awesome baby skip that I missed Leslie Pro picking up crystal number 6. So that is all done except the Ice Palace here.
So if MM2 kills the Zebs, it'll be roughly exact ammo. He'll have some missiles to spare, extra, but it'd be pretty tight. So he's going for this speed Shine Spark Zeb skip, which is really hard to do.
Yeah, it's a really tough charge to make.
There it is. He's going to continue gaming. And it saves like 44 missiles worth of damage.
Yeah, definitely worth it on just a charge beam setup here.
Yeah, full ammo Mother Brain fight. Still pretty fast. You need like really strong beam combination to go faster. So it doesn't really matter that he's still on power beam.
And there we go. With 15 missiles to spare, MM2 showing off some skill tonight.
And then Leslie doing a Dragon a little earlier than I would have thought. Maybe wants to do Torian before Ganon. He's finishing Torian first is the faster way to complete the game. But in this case, they're still looking for Ice Beam to speed up Torian. So it might not do that. Just getting Dragon out of the way.
Does have the benefit of doing this fight with a charged plasma combo.
You can break out of the goop with a screw attack spin.
Not even interested in checking for ice or silvers back there. Looks like Leslie's just gonna move on.
This will be just space jumping through Coliseum. That's a quick way to get through. This will be a pretty strong finish time from MM2. 2:30 something. So I'm sure he's happy with us.
Yes, sub 245 is great.
Yeah, pretty much always happy to see the time around this 2.5 hours. Not going for Blue Bomber. Not sure why. Yeah, Spring Ball. Bonks the spark.
Oh, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. But he gets the backup. Not much time lost. And I guess to do the final climb through the parlor. Try his best to dodge the steam. And then we're going to have him running onto the ship and he will be finished. The official time of 2:30:54. GG.
Getting it. GG's MM2 grabbing 2:30. What a great time. Definitely deserved it. Played to some excellent execution tonight.
Yep, definitely. And got to get away with that Bryn loop skip. So big time save there. So MM2 finishing first on restream, but second overall. Hitaka finishing first with a 2:26.
And it looks like we are joined by MM2 here. GG's MM2, nice run.
GG. I'm not particularly happy with my Turian, or my Dark World, or a lot of things. Mostly the fact that I was literally a second off my PB. And it's like the third run that could have sub 230 that I killed because I'm bad. But, I mean, I got lucky. The locations worked out. Just the execution wasn't where it needed to be.
Well, it looked from here like you had a strong execution throughout the whole run.
I don't know, like, I died a lot in early Dark World. Like, I died outside of Hype Cave to being really, aggressive with that one enemy, the Roba, I think. Then died to a not great hook shot on the bridge after Pyramid. Then deep down I had to powder everywhere, which was fantastic. Powder for best safety.
Yeah, this early Dark World was a little dangerous with your low health count. We
For
did
sure.
see you pick up that early potion, so I guess you were preparing for Dark World.
Yeah, that was definitely for preparation for most. Yeah, really just Dark World. Then no, it couldn't. No, like for whatever reason, when I was walking into pod, I was like, oh yeah, I've got this potion now. I can PCU. Oh wait, no, I've got bow. I don't need to PCU. So yeah, that was my brain for a little bit. I would for in Kakariko, I was not I remember I was just like, oh my god, my brain is just not working. For whatever reason, I was making a lot of dumb mistakes. I thought for a half a second I walked into Chicken House when I already done it. And then I also made the bomb mistake in Back of Escape, which lost me a bunch of time. So it's every time you play seconds off a milestone, you always think back at the little minor time losses. Great.
Yeah, that's true. So this run you had some really major time saves, but it's still easy to focus on the small things.
For sure. And yeah,
yeah, I'd say don't. Don't watch the restream because all we did was compliment your execution. I thought it was real clean in a lot of places and between very precisely executed tricks and strats, but also just room movement in general, especially in SM, real clean.
Yeah, definitely. Once I got Morph, I felt like my SM execution was pretty solid, except for of course, a few things here and there. I remember Mount Everest in Meridia was not great, but it was tolerable. But yeah, again, yeah, just the little things.
How did you feel about that Morph pull? I mean, that was really one of the early on separators.
Yeah, I assume did Leslie get that before me or after me?
Yeah, a lot earlier.
Okay, I figured. When I got the mitts, I figured some people were gonna go straight to Death Mountain and just get the morph ball and do things with it, and I was like, let's stick to crystals, do crystals, and then do Death Mountain, do that later, and then then I found the morph and I was like, all right, let's do morph things. I didn't really feel terrible about getting Morph late since I had done a lot of things that were required anyway, like Thieves and Pod. So, but yeah, that's just rando.
It really seemed like what you were doing was working out towards progression.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
And then the efficiencies that Leslie would have gained by doing SM first, you didn't really get back to, and so you didn't take a time loss in that area by not having the mirror right away at grade.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I think about it, getting that mirror early could have been really nice for Dark World, and of course, all the nice things you could have gotten from SM, like swords and stuff, to just make Dark World easier. Yeah, I don't know. The late mirror felt, I don't know, it didn't feel great, but it felt like could have been worse. Could have been something worse, but who knows? Could have been boots. That would have not been great.
Well, it's just interesting, because we have the vantage point and chat can see it play out side by side, because we really thought that, Leslie was making some big progress with those finds early on in SM if you went over at Morph Ball, but it turned out that Leslie stayed in SM continuing to look for, the fire rod stuff that you had already found. So you kind of made up the time on the back end and then just kind of ran away with it.
Yeah. When I did I kind of came into this race with the mindset of just try to play to not lose as opposed to play to win. For since I'm on restream, I don't want to spend 3 hours last locating everything. So I was like, that was what made me make the call to do Croc, even though I was go -1 and I already found something in Norfair behind Varia. So I don't know. It definitely felt really interesting once I got the mirror, because when I got the mirror, I actually thought about how far I was off Go mode, and I was like, oh crap, I'm Go -2 plus whatever I need for lower Norfair. or just Varia. And then I found Varia, and then Varia took me to the other stuff.
Yeah, I was speculating that you were preparing for a Varia skip very early.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like once I thought about being Go -2, I was like, yeah, let's just get all the things I could want for Lower Norfair, and then space showed up. Like then I had like high jump speed space screw, and I was like, oh boy, this could be a really nice Lower Norfair if I get like a bunch more tanks and grapple. It was like I was kind of looking forward to it if it happened, but of course, who knows? And then of course, having already done all the RBO practice for the relay.
Yeah, like I knew that you could have pulled it off, but this happened to be a seed where progression was behind the Varia, and in normal you're not as incentivized to like do those upper Norfair hell runs.
For sure.
Like an early speed booster in a hard seed, you might go to Croc right away. That would have worked out in this case.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, if I had gotten a bunch more tanks a lot earlier, and I had run out of good options, I might have hell ran lower Norfair into upper Norfair, just like in hope of not having to go on a bad item hunt and just doing stuff that was required but a bit slower. But who knows? That's just not how the seed played out. Got the Varia and then took it to the other stuff.
Yeah, we were watching for those pendant access items, the Quake and Flippers. Then you did make the call to go to Croc before it came to that. So
Yeah,
we got a good time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask on that. You know, just kind of picking your brain, but you find boots and you think, oh great, you know, boots aren't in Turtle Rock, but then you find flippers. You know, and you still sans Quake, so
yeah. The thought, like, I was like, oh well, at least I don't have to go on a flippers hunt for my Quake and Swamp or whatever. But of course, it opens up Swamp, and I've already got plenty and open up at the moment. Like I've got Olive Bryn, I've got, of course, I've got Croc at that time. I've got Desert I can clear at that point, and then of course a bunch of pendants. Oh yeah! Oh my god! I forgot to save and quit after getting Eastern Big Key chest, and then I died to the dark room. And then I was like, okay, at least I have an excuse to leave. But another mistake. Good grief. Yeah, the thought process in this seed was, I don't know, it just felt kind of natural, especially after a morph. Then the Hype Cave death threw things off, but then I think I got the mitts and I was like, all right, let's just go back and do that stuff. Get the things. Rowden Smith trying to capitalize on the mitts early, and yeah, see what comes from that.
Yeah, it was a little bit interesting to see you go back through the Hype Cave portal and like really focus on that purple chest play.
Yeah, I was considering skipping purple chest, but I was like, I've done this mirrorless. Let's just do the whole thing mirrorless, especially since I've got flute. So it worked out. Well, it didn't work out. It didn't have anything, but it don't feel like it lost me too much time.
Yeah, I was thinking that the way I would have played this seed would have been to make that earlier Dark Death Mountain play. I'm looking for safeties. Just anything at all to help with Dark World.
Yeah.
So more like how Leslie ended up playing the seed.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I was considering doing that, but yeah, I just wanted to rush the crystals.
Yeah, like in these situations, I like to think of picking up safeties as a way to speed up the game.
That's smart. 'Cause, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it does. It's kind of Kind of like Vario's Lower Norfair Screws, just a time save.
Yeah, that was another one you grabbed early on in your, crystal hunting in the beginning that gave you a little bit of an edge movement-wise through SM.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say that your GT fight was a little curious.
Oh yeah,
Staying in the fight instead of resetting out.
Yeah, I was thinking about resetting, but I decided to stay in, farm stuff, and try to not have to reset, spend 30 seconds getting back into SM plus the menu time, plus fluting to 6, and then, yeah. I was thinking it might have been faster, but I don't know. Probably wouldn't have been. Who knows? I have not timed that out. Maybe, no, I should have just done Desert and then done GT and reset out of that. That probably would have been better, but then I would have committed to Bryn Loop, probably. So, that wouldn't have been great. Maybe it wouldn't have.
Like, there's definitely like traps that can get you to do the slow thing. This kind of scene.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of ways to do Bryn Loop. When I did Criteria PB's Gauntlet, I was looking for stuff for Law and Order, obviously. And that, of course, obviously good. But I wanted to do something like Bryn Loop, but not commit to the full Bryn Loop just yet, because I still had Wreckship to do, and then potentially who knows what. And then, of course, and then I also wanted to preserve a way to do, after Wreckship, if I didn't find anything, I could have done down Red Tower into like a reverse Bryn, like a back to early supers and then forward through Bryn, kind of like Zostrop Mappo. But that's extremely obscure.
Well, I mean, and right here with Leslie Pro taking down Ganon with a nice Ganon fight silverless. Single G in chat for Leslie Pro. But what I was going to say was the skipping the Bryn Loop, saved you a lot of time, worked out great. But we did find Shovel in Bryn Loop, and had Shovel been Quake, I mean, it's so easy to justify, any play. Because
yeah, for sure.
When we saw Shovel and you were nowhere near Bryn Loop, we're like, oh no, this, what are we digging for?
Yeah, or Bryn Loop could have just had Quake at who knows where, like in the 3 million locations in Bryn Loop itself. Yeah, Bryn Loop could easily have been the play. Turns out it wasn't. That's rando.
That's why we keep coming back, right? Makes it fun. Or it's torture. I don't know how you prefer to describe it.
I'm being paid by the SMZ3 devs to keep coming back. I have no interest in this rando. That's a joke.
You tune in here for honesty, right?
Yeah, I think that's it for me. Anything else you got before I head off to bed?
No, I'm good here.
Nice. Well, yeah. Thanks for commentating. I was definitely looking forward to watching this back.
Well, thanks for an awesome run.
Thanks for running.
Heck yeah.
GG's. Oh, with MM2 stepping aside for the night, we've got Leslie Pro beginning the Torian jump. Getting ready to wrap up this run as well. Still making really good time.
Yep, did a pretty solid Ganon's Tower. Still got there fairly early, big key. And then Gold Sword making the climb easy enough. Now we're into power bombing Metroids, slowing things down.
I totally forgot. See, now that we're in Torian, I remember, but MM2 came on here and said, you know, oh no, my execution. And yet we watched that incredible baby skip that happened with nothing but a power beam.
Yeah. And it was followed by a speed zeb skip. Like, it did take a few tries, but the trick is that hard to get. That's still impressive.
And well worth the time when you're really trying to go full ammo.
Yeah, like, the ammo was close to needing a refill. I'm not sure how confident I'd be in the math, like, when it's that close. And here we have Leslie at the baby. Health already lowered down, so I might just take a grab. And then otherwise it's 130-70 for ammo plus charge plasma, so no concerns at all at missiling through the Zebs if it comes to that. Taking the energy refill here instead of the super dangerous crystal flash refill in the Mother Brain fight. Now we're heading into Mother Brain. And then, since Leslie has plasma, I'm more inclined to do a stand-up glitch. But plasma alone means maybe they won't. So we'll see. Saving supers for the second phase by the looks of it. So they can do 60 super fight. Supers are the fastest form of damage. They're 1 health away from stand up. And yeah, just gonna damage down.
Yeah, I don't know that stand-up would have saved enough time for me to have risked it.
Yeah, the 10 or so seconds it saves, like in a 3-hour run, you don't really need to stress yourself over the chance of soft locking.
Leslie Pro getting that energy refill here. Going to be getting the Hyper Beam, and this is the beginning of the end of another great run. Leslie Pro with some really nice execution as well, especially in some of the boss fights and some of the strats that we've seen throughout the night. So impressive showing on both ends tonight.
Yeah, this is still a sub 3 times, so it's still a really good finish.
And like we said, and I'm sure like comms always say on races like this, you know, Leslie certainly checked a lot more, but if any one of those checks pay out, you have a completely different breakdown of how the night goes. So can't fault Leslie. Made some great calls, some great plays. Unfortunately, they just didn't work out as well as they did for MM2 tonight, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Final timer has been set. Gotta get off the planet.
That ever stressful 5-4 time signatures telling you you need to get moving.
Yep, gotta go fast, as if you weren't already. Let's see if we can get a first try spark up the shaft. Make up some time on MM2.
Nice.
Now the run out of Parlor through all the steam, the beloved steam.
Certainly never annoying.
And Leslie is on the ship and finished. The time of 2:55:44. So congrats to Leslie.
Get your GGs in chat. Another great run. Tons of fun to watch both runners.
Yeah, this has been a good race. A lot of divergence. Very different region coverage by both the runners. Following that opener, the Dark World access on Mountain is really where they separated.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it play out the way it did. Like we talked about a few times, you know, those early SM items after we found Morph Ball really seemed like they were going to provide just a streamlined access for Leslie, but it ended up keeping him around a little too long. And that was really the make or break play here. And it looks like we're going to be joined by Leslie Pro. No doubt we'll have some thoughts on what we were just talking about. In the meantime, though, I'll throw it up again one more time. If you've enjoyed the run tonight, please give some support to Leslie Pro and MM2, two excellent runners who put on a great show. Tons of fun to watch, so do give them some love.
And here we have Leslie Pro joining us. How you feeling?
Wow! First off, that's the fastest I've done the escape sequence in Super Metroid. Second off, that's my first sub 3. Wow! Holy
Oh, excellent.
God.
GG's, congrats, man. Awesome.
Thanks. Wow, that was quite the run. I mean, it had its slip-ups and its mishaps, But let's just say after last week where I missed the 3 hour mark by like 4.5 minutes, I figured I gotta be getting close, right? Didn't think it was gonna be 1 week later on Restream.
Well, it was certainly an awesome run to watch and well executed in, some really nice precision moves. And honestly, we've said it a bunch of times tonight, but you found some really nice items when you went to that early SM play, and that could have made a big difference if that's where everything led to. So, really, it was a great run all around and great routing.
Thanks. Although I can see how other runners finish faster, they sequence broke up Death Mountain and didn't go to Big Pink with speed, which I'll admit getting that Shine Spark gave me some problems, cause game, you and I need to have a talk about firing that Shine Spark a little too early. Just saying. Oh yeah, that embarrassing Moldorm death. Pre-Moldorm death on the second to last floor of Hera. Well, let's just say I played Zelda 1 Rando last night and hit the wrong button on my controller. Oopsie.
Yeah, both of you were staying in logic for all the early game. So MM2 also went through that early Brinstar and the Pendant Eastern. And then it wasn't until after you had Dark World access in the midst specifically where you separated. And so you had a big lead into to the Morph Ball and got to find your SM items first.
Yeah, MM2 prioritized. Took a while to get to that Morph Ball and prioritized crystal clearing, and was able to find the Fire Rod before picking up the Morph Ball. So I think kind of the breakdown was you just spent a lot more time in at SM before heading back, and for a while it looked like that was the SM play was the call because you're finding all that stuff, but it kind of built back up as you spent more and more time lingering in that game. But
yeah,
there's
I
good
can
reason
see
to.
that. I can see how this could be routed either or, because MM2 is fantastic at this randomizer and SM in general. So to see the time that he put up doesn't surprise me at all, but honestly, I'll take the sub 3 because, wow, to me that's just a huge breakthrough point, because now you're not cutting another hour unless unless a crazy generous seed happens, and I don't expect that, let's be honest. If it ever happens, I'll be shocked.
Well, it's fun to listen how excited you are about this, because it was impressive to watch and fun. Take it from someone who's horrible at both of these games. I'm impressed by everything, just the cleanness, the way that everybody runs this game when I'm calming is awesome. But, sub 3 is great, and it's awesome to hear you so excited about it too. And I know we all enjoyed watching it, so thank you.
Much appreciated. It's just the way the routing worked out, I guess. I mean, it could have been better. Hey, it could have been worse. I could have got baited into Swamp Palace. And that thankfully didn't happen, because when I saw those flippers, I'm like, oh, no. That is not an item I want to see, game. No. Don't even put that thought in my head. Thankfully, it didn't come to that.
Yeah, and the seed, it really wanted to lead you away from the Croc exiting Upper Norfair, and I was a little worried for you since you had the extra crystal available in Ice Palace, but it was really a really good decision to stay in, and that let you skip a lot of checks with that Quake Go mode.
At that point, I was staying in until I had 100%ed Norfair, because if I had left at that point, I was not going back until the last location. So, better safe than sorry.
Well, it worked out for you.
So, who knows what's next in terms of pushing this time even lower. But I gotta take a pause on this for a bit because I got a marathon run coming up this coming weekend. So I gotta prepare for that. That's gonna be fun. So I am curious. Where was like ice and wave beams? I like never saw those, and I doubt that MM2 picked those up. Not with the routing he took.
Yeah, we didn't see him either, and I've seen some stuff go by in chat. I think Tracy had mentioned the finding of ice, but we never saw wave, so gonna have to ask around. We didn't see him.
No worries, that's just minor details. I mean, it would have been nice to have found the cape because the silvers wound up on Bumper Ledge. But to be honest, by the time I had gotten to Ganon, if cape had shown up in Moldorm 2 chests, I would have said no, because at that point it's just not worth it, because I'm pushing to finish this quick. Wasn't going. Not at that point.
The cape we saw was in the Ice Palace big key chest. Yeah, so MM2 had that kind of early.
Yeah,
never
that way of
made it to Bumper
icebreaker,
Ledge.
I bet. I can't seem
Yeah.
to get that one down. But, can't focus on the negatives here. Focus on the positives.
Yeah,
And I
it
see
still would have
Tracy
been
in
a
chat.
long trip for Bumper.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It looks like ice was at grapple, so.
Yeah, once I saw Quake, that was like, that's it, I'm gone.
It was a very smart save you did before going down to Croc, though.
Yeah, because my thought process there was if there was absolutely nothing there, I would have just reset it. Although I was contemplating keeping Gold Sword just for Ganon because I knew there was a chance I was going to have a silverless fight, and that would speed things up considerably for the first two phases. So, bit of temptation, bit of risk reward, yet it all paid out.
Well, it was tons of fun to watch. Anything else you'd like to comment on or questions? Aussie, do you have anything you want to ask?
I think I've asked what I'd like to ask. Thanks, Leslie, for putting on a great race.
Thanks for having me. And I'll look forward to being back with you guys, not this coming week, no. But probably the following week. We'll see how it all plays out, because I feel like there's a couple of randos that I don't play regularly that I feel like I'm getting into a pretty good rhythm on, and be honest, I'm feeling that with SMZ3, so look forward to be seeing me around more, for sure.
Well, sounds good, and yeah, love the excitement, and real glad to hear you're so happy with how it turned out, because it was really impressive. It really
Thanks
did clean up
again.
nicely. And that's a great segue into one last time. If you've enjoyed, give Leslie Pro and MM2 a follow, because they're putting up great content all throughout the year, practicing and doing all kinds of other randos that don't always get to make it to the restream. So give some love and get excited for what's going on, because it's awesome. Tons of fun to watch. Along with that, though, please give some love to this amazing team that's working behind the scenes. Our tracker working so hard. Got the link up there in the chat. Give a follow to Made. Really appreciate all the work that goes into making all these so enjoyable for us to watch at home. And again, another huge shout out to Aussie 101. Thank you so much for letting me share the booth with you tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Inline. And also done an amazing job. So you deserve to follow yourself. But I think we're going to be done here tonight. And this will be the last run of the evening on Speed Gaming. So thank everyone for hanging out, and good night.